Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, should the all ages, HollywoodShono here, about to give you the daily vlog for Wednesday, March the 17th, one day after Stone Cold 316 Day. And to start off Monday Night Raw, we ended up getting a segment with Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. I thought it was a good promo between the two. I don't think the big bald bitch was a good insult from Drew McIntyre. I think it was his lazy scripting. But it was a good way to generate heat. I find it odd that The Miz seems to be working with Bobby Lashley, and somehow I have a feeling Miz is going to get involved and screw up the match. Sheamus attacking Bobby Lashley was a nice little swerve that we didn't expect, but because Sheamus is kind of a tweener between Drew and being a heel, we'll have to see how it plays out. After Lashley attacked Drew McIntyre, we get the match right away between Drew McIntyre and The Miz, and even though at a disadvantage, The Miz got embarrassed by being put in the hurt lock that Drew McIntyre put on, and he tapped out, and hopefully that cements him in the mid-card, since he's been notorious for being the opening match of the show the past few weeks. Backstage cuts to Bugs Bunny and Damian Priest talking to each other, then we get to see the stupid segment from annoying Braun Strowman, which is a waste of talent. Even though Strowman is horrible on the mic, he's got the look for sure. Shane is an annoying heel, and he's damn good at it because he's got that cowardice mentality that you just want to hate. I just hope they don't put him in more WWE Championship matches. However, Shane McMahon shouldn't be wrestling in matches, taking up spots for other people like Oldberg does. You can easily tell Strowman's promo is scripted, but he did a good job reciting his lines even if you could tell that they weren't his words. And why is R-Truth so good at entertaining people even if he sucks as a wrestler? Hilarious 316 promo on 315 to get a pop from the women. The next segment is the My Hole and a waste of championship material. Shayna Baszler watching a match against jobbers Dana Brooke, Otis's lover Mandy Rose, against another waste of space, Bobby Lashley's sex puppet Lana, and Naomi, who's been wasted in the women's division for years, who is very talented, yet forced to do stupid pairings and bookings because Lana is horrible in the ring. Wouldn't you know it? Lana's related to Miro! And I'm sure the only reason Lana is featured is to fuck with Rusev, aka Miro, who's getting trashed by Jim Cornette as we speak. Unlike AEW, Lana actually knew how to use a tag row. Sadly, this women's match got tarnished by Asuka trying to get revenge on what Shayna did a few weeks ago. We also get to see the overexposed Adam Pearce again, who I'm tired of seeing on TV. Lana will forever be known to only be able to do two moves and, of course, take the L from another person that can't wrestle, Dana Brooke. Poor Naomi getting shit on yet again by bad booking from a tag division that shouldn't even exist. Next up, we have three goofs, Matt Riddle and The New Day, with a stupid, silly promo, and Xavier Woods showing off his new stupid tattoo on his bicep. And I gotta admit, I really like the Mortal Kombat themed attire. That was a nice touch that Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods had on, which of course is the thumbnail right here, what you can see behind me. And not Nia Jax's hole, which we had a few weeks ago, which was fucking hilarious. It's probably the only relevancy she'll have all year. It's a shame that the tag belts will always be considered a joke in the WWF as long as there are two men's titles. They really should get rid of the brand split so we could all see the New Day together and not just Big E on one brand, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods on the other. I think it's so stupid splitting them up. You don't need to put them on two separate brands to give Big E a push. And the tag belts will always be considered a joke in the WWF as long as there's two. I like Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, both great heels with MVP, but the New Day has to stay relevant and of course won the titles back. I really didn't care for this match. The New Day became 11-time tag team champions, and I wish Big E had decent music. It just shows that Def Rebel is fucking horrible compared to Jim Johnson. I wish they'd bring him back, pay him royalties on everything. It's a shame that AJ Styles is getting reduced to the tag division. I know it's a way to build Omos up. He does nothing to look big. He's very sloppy from whatever we see, and that's probably why he went down and got demoted. It's a shame that the Big Show isn't wrestling anymore. I'm sure he would have been a huge asset had he stayed in the WWF. Oh wait, we got Braun Strowman who doesn't do shit for anybody. Maybe because he's not a good wrestler. Well, we still have Mark Henry to get advice from at least. And what's up with so many people dressing up without socks on? It's fucking stupid. Omos could learn a lot from AJ Styles if he hasn't already. But let's see what Omos actually has. I expect this match to be pretty garbage at WrestleMania, even if AJ does do 90% of the work. The 10% that Omos is going to do, it's going to be trash. Damian Priest calling The Miz awful is nothing new, unfortunately. We've known he's been awful for years. John Morrison's new look is awful. But it looks like the next person Damian Priest is going to run over is The Miz, and I'm sure he's going to make Miz look awful. He could really go in NXT, so let's see what happens. We get a 316 segment with R-Truth with the Smoking Skull Championship and more of Stone Cold stuff. Probably to show off that you could buy it at a WWE shop. I think I'd rather have the Smoking Skull Championship than the 24/7 title, which Bad Bunny, aka Bugs Bunny, gave over to R-Truth. I think that name is still hilarious. Kind of a good way to get the belt off a non-wrestler and back into R-Truth. Yeah, R-Truth has got to stay relevant in the comedy gig with his 24/7 title. And why do we never see this belt on other brands? We don't see it on NXT. We don't see it on SmackDown. Why is it only defended on pay-per-views and Raw? I don't get that. Speaking of another waste of talent, why is Jackson Riker with Elias? That is one of the worst pairings ever. Jackson Riker doesn't do anything to begin with, and the fact that he jobbed to Damian Priest in less than 3 minutes pretty much devalues him to nothing. Why are they together? Because they look similar than the fucking shitty tattoos Jackson Riker has. I don't know about you, but wearing socks with sandals looks ghetto. But maybe that's a Mexican thing, I don't know. Sorry to any of my Mexican viewers that take offense to that. I just can't understand people wearing socks with sandals. And I can't understand people wearing dress shoes with no socks. AKA Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns with his low-cut socks. I know Shane McMahon's been doing it for a while. Put some fucking crew-cut socks on. And almost could have used those socks that Bad Bunny had. Why didn't he get the big white socks? Would it look more intimidating than no socks, which looks stupid as fuck. I do love Damian Priest's music and entrance, and I hope they don't fuck it up like they did with Keith Lee. They didn't fuck up Matt Riddle's entrance, but they sure did fuck up his name and took the mat out. CFO is much better than Def Rebel, even though nobody still compared to Jim Johnson. CFO at least had some style. Def Rebel knows nothing about music. I could write better music than them. Damian Priest took out Jackson Riker in almost record time, which shows how little Vince thinks of him, probably after that whole Trump thing. I guess as long as Bugs Bunny is around, Damian will continue to look good. Sneak attack on Bad Bunny by The Miz, and he gets to take a bump. Helps build up the story. I'm sure it won't change the result that Damian Priest is going to run over The Miz, and that'll solidify him in the mid-card again. I wish Morrison would get a singles run instead of being the Miz's bitch. The whole Miz and Morrison thing worked years ago. Give it up. It don't work anymore. Next up, we see Shane McMahon with standard heel tactics trying to stall the match. Even trying to do hopscotch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then backwards. Braun Strowman, of course, pissed off that that comes out to chase him around the ring. Eventually runs into Shane McMahon, who got a couple hits on him. And then, as he was going to set up for the Strowman Express, a cameraman was right behind Shane McMahon. And Braun Strowman does the J.O.B. to Shane McMahon by getting hit in the face 4 times by a camera and then getting hit by an elbow off the top rope onto a table. But that's not all. You get to see Shane McMahon embarrass Braun Strowman by putting buckets of slime all over him. Then he goes under the ring and gets a second one to cover up his head, which makes me believe that Braun Strowman did something to piss the WWF off on top of what Adam Pearce did. I don't know the whole story behind it, but you don't get suspended and then come back to TV without getting buried. And I'm assuming that's what they're doing to Braun Strowman. Such a fucking waste, and it's such an embarrassment that it's happening by a 51-year-old man. Next up, we have an Alexa Bliss Randy Orton promo, and she challenges Orton to a match at Fastlane. Wouldn't you know it, lazy booking comes into play again, because you know The Fiend is going to come back at Fastlane, which is what it sounds like, the reemergence of The Fiend in some way. I'm going to be curious what it looks like, but to be honest with you, I thought the way The Fiend looks cool, so unless they do something to drastically alter it, kind of like Jason Voorhees, it's probably going to look stupid as shit. I hate what they're doing with The Fiend ever since being lit on fire, but Alexa is definitely one of the best promos in the women's division, and it just shows. She's just excellent on the mic. She's got very good acting skills. Even if they don't put the title on Alexa at some point, which they should have done, fucking great. Definitely one of the highlights of the women's division. So Asuka got her tooth fixed. You could tell they were showing skits of the top tooth getting knocked out. You could tell she's got a full smile again. By the way, Mandy Booten also got her teeth back. Congratulations on that. She doesn't have a hole in the bottom tooth anymore, so that's great to see. So she's in action against Shayna Baszler, and I still feel that Asuka is not a deserving champion. It just shows the problems of having 2 brands of women. She didn't beat anybody to get the title. She got handed a Money in the Bank briefcase. Becky Lynch gets pregnant, goes off TV. I'm waiting for the day Becky Lynch comes back, takes the belt from her. I'm sure that they're keeping the belt warm for it. I don't even know who's challenging on the Raw side of things. Could Becky Lynch come back? Could we see a swerve? Could we see Charlotte go after it? Funny enough, we actually did not see Charlotte on this week's Raw. If there's going to be some falling out because of Andrade wanting to release, if they're keeping Charlotte off TV, that would be totally stupid because Charlotte is probably one of the best women that Raw has. If probably the whole WWE, if used right. And I'd like to see her have a dominant role for like a year as champion. I just don't want her talking on the mic. Charlotte Flair is a great worker, but goddamn, her promos suck. suck. So for the end of the match, Asuka ended up rolling up Shayna Baszler, who had her in the Kirifuda clutch, and then got out of it, and then rammed her face into the turnbuckle, exposed the turnbuckle, and tried putting her mouth in the turnbuckle, and then was going to ram her face in the turnbuckle, trying to break her teeth. I don't know if that's Asuka trying to get revenge for getting a tooth knocked out. I don't know if it's just Asuka being Asuka and the crazy Japanese bitch that she is. There's no call for it. I hope that she gets punished in some way. That's just fucking stupid, lazy booking. Asuka also had to deal with a 2-on-1 match pretty much the whole time. Just stupid and unnecessary. If you're having a singles match, why is Nia Jax out there? To me, that's just lazy booking. The sooner that Retribution disbands, the happier I will be. What a joke of a faction. They are just fucking trash. The right person won in the match, Matt Riddle. And of course, you can see more arguing and whining from Mustafa Ali, which seems to be the only thing he knows how to do lately. Whine and cry like a bitch. Because these guys expose you for being garbage. Like you really are. As for the Sheamus and Bobby Lashley match, I didn't really care for the match. The bits I did see of the match, Sheamus did look strong, put on a good performance. The problem was, I knew that Bobby Lashley was going to win the match. We all know that Drew's going to beat Sheamus at Fastlane. And I hate matches with predictable outcomes, so I'm probably not going to care about the match. I'll still watch the match. We're going to have the video chat this Sunday, along with Brian and anybody else that wants to watch it. If Rob wants to watch it, you can tune to the network as well. We'll be playing probably 2K19. Thank you guys for this daily vlog. I will read comments tomorrow, since this Raw review went pretty long.